Greetings, Android users. This is Reverend Kyle, your Minister of Mobile Devices. And the purpose of this video is to touch on a few of the questions that I've been asked over the last couple months, and actually several of them recently. I thought it would be nice to take this time to address some of your concerns and issues and questions in video form. So first of all, a question that I get quite a bit here actually is, are you a real reverend? Yes, actually I am. I am an ordained minister, and that's not my day job, but it is something that I do on the side. The Reverend Kyle moniker is my way of giving myself an individuality on the internet. So yes, you can call me Rev or Reverend Kyle, Reverend KJR. KJR is my initials. I'm not a junior, as some of you have alluded to. But yeah, Rev or Reverend Kyle is just fine. You can call me that. Let's see, what are the other questions I have here? I noticed that you are doing videos for the Amazon Kindle Fire and the Google Nexus 7. Does this mean that you are abandoning the HP touchpad? I'll tell you right now, in no way, shape, or form will I ever abandon the HP touchpad. I will continue to support the HP touchpad. It is still my first tablet, and it's done so much for me, and I've done so much for the touchpad. I'll never leave the HP touchpad. As long as there will be development for it, as long as there are new things to talk about, I will definitely continue to do videos and support the HP touchpad. Some of you may have noticed that my most recent HP touchpad video, at least at the time of making this one, is the Jelly Bean teaser, which has created quite a bit of controversy. Now, the Jelly Bean build based on the Cyanogen in Mod 10 is coming. It's being worked on. It's being developed. The version that I had on my touchpad was a very early alpha, I guess you could call it. It is not in any way, shape, or form ready for the rest of the population. So all of the questions of, can I have it? Will you give it to me? It's not mine to give yet. The developers are still working on it, and we need to give them time to be able to sort out all the bugs and make it really, truly available for everybody to use. So be patient. It's coming. I won't give you the common answer of 2 weeks. I won't do that because I know that it's not going to be 2 weeks. While we're talking about Jelly Bean on the HP touchpad, I should touch on a few things here, because one of the other questions that I get asked very, very often is the camera going to be fixed? Well, the camera problem exists on all builds for the HP touchpad. As it stands right now, we don't have an answer. We don't have a way to make the camera work. The camera is an enigma in terms of development. So eventually somebody will come up with a way to get the camera to work, at which point it'll be, I'm sure, integrated into the Cyanogen Mod 9 and then the soon-to-come Cyanogen Mod 10 Jelly Bean. But just because it's Jelly Bean doesn't mean that there is now a camera. It doesn't mean that any of the builds are going to have camera. So again, camera. When the camera becomes available and the camera works, you will hear about it. You will hear about it from me. You'll hear about it from the developers. You will hear about it all across the internet, because really, truly, it's the one thing that's missing from the HP touchpad builds right now. Now, I personally don't care if the camera ever works. The camera capabilities is not something that I'm really too concerned about. So let's move beyond that. I'm really tired of talking about camera on the HP touchpad. Let's see here. One of the other questions. Okay, so we're doing videos on the Amazon Kindle Fire. I've done videos now. The Google Nexus 7 is the hot new item, and so I'm really trying to build up my video base and my audience for the Google Nexus 7. It's an amazing device. I really encourage you to get one. I use it as well as my touchpad and my Kindle Fire for all different things. It's a welcome addition to my collection of devices right now, and I take it with me everywhere I go at this point. You may have seen some of my other my Nexus 7 videos where I demonstrate the camera or show you how to root or show you how to connect 1,000 things to it using an OTG cable. Those are all really fun things, and there will be more as it comes out. You will see some more reviews on cases and other peripherals as soon as they come out. Obviously, we need the peripherals before we can review them, but I'm hoping to really become a staple in the Google Nexus 7 community. As new things come out, I want people to come to me for questions. I want people to come to me for guides and reviews. So be on the lookout for new upcoming things with the Nexus 7. That kind of takes us to another question that I get quite a bit, which is, are you going to do videos for whatever device? People have asked about the Dell Streak. People have asked about the Transformer. People have asked about random cheap knockoff Android devices from Walmart and discount stores and things like that. If I don't have the device, I can't do a video on it. A lot of my videos are in some ways universal, and so there is a potential that your device can use whatever guide that I've made for you, but I don't guarantee it. And I don't want you to assume that it's going to work for you. So really take a heed of my caution here. If I didn't make a video or a guide for your device specifically, I can't guarantee that it's going to work for your device. Now, some of the things like editing the build prop or putting certain apps on, or like stick mount. If you have a rooted device and you use stick mount, it might work for your device. I don't know. But those are things that you really need to have some caution. If you are concerned about it, look in the forums. I have started my own website now. I do have reverendkyle.com. If you haven't checked it out, please do. In that is basically, I have put all of my videos there. I've put any information or product links or anything that I can come up with that's going to help the community is on reverendkyle.com. Along with it, there is also a forum, and in that forum, we're slowly building up a community of helpful information. There are a lot of forums out there, and I realize that, and there's a lot of good information on those forums. My forum is targeted just the way my guides and videos are. My forum is targeted toward people who are noobs. You're new to the Android world. I don't want you to be frightened to go into my forum and ask questions. You're not going to get ridiculed. You're not going to get yelled at. There is no dumb questions. If you don't get an answer from me specifically, there are some very educated and very knowledgeable people floating around on my forum, and they've been very helpful, and I'm very appreciative of that. I think that the idea of community and helping each other is what makes the Android world so interesting and so fun to be part of. And that's why I do my videos. I do them so that way I can help people. I want everybody to be able to have the same experience with their devices that I do. We're not all developers. We're not all programmers. We're not all computer geeks. Some of us are just moms who carpool and just want their Android device to do what they see other people do. And that's my goal, is to help those people. One of the other questions I get, and it's kind of funny too, because this one will follow suit as well. Why are your videos just so damn long? I'm thorough. I want to be thorough. I want people to not feel after they've watched my video to go, well, what is that step? What does that mean? What is that? I make sure that I go through step by step, very methodically. I don't want anybody to think, well, that doesn't make any sense. How did you get from here to here? There are a lot of videos out there on the internet that they do that. They assume certain things that you've already done, and that's not always the case. You don't always have the drivers installed. Not everybody has ADB installed on their computer for Android. if you watch my video, if you watch one of my videos and you say, wow, I really didn't need that, then the video wasn't meant for you. My target audience is people who need full, thorough help from beginning to end, and they want to see what the end result will be. I know that some people find value in watching someone else do the process first, and I know I do. I find great value in seeing somebody do a process that I know nothing about yet and that I'm about to do on my own. Nobody wants to brick their device. Nobody wants to get in a situation where they can't send their device back for warranty support. Those types of things are scary. I mean, you spent $100, $200, $500 on a device. The last thing you want to do is follow some 3-minute guide on YouTube and end up with a brick device afterwards. I try not to give you that type of content. I try to give you full content. I also know that my videos are not just viewed in the United States. I know that I have an international audience, and so not everybody wants to watch the video without captions. They want to hear somebody who can do it thoroughly with good pronunciation, very little concern for, is that a term that I don't understand? So I really try to keep it generic and really try to cover all of the bases in terms of all the steps that you do. So why are my videos so long? They need to be because my target audience wants it to be. You know, I've called some of my guides idiots guides. That's not meant to be condescending. It's not meant to ridicule people. I've personally read several books, the dummies books, the idiots guides. They're important because, like I said, not everybody starts on the same level of knowledge. So hopefully you see value in it, and if you don't, that's fine. Then the videos aren't for you. Let's see here. Why didn't you answer my question? I get that quite a bit. At any given time, I have 50 to 100 comments on my YouTube videos. I have personal messages, I have instant messages, I have emails, I have posts on different forums that I frequent. I have Google+, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. And it gets to be a lot. And I try to answer as many as I can. Now, the best way for you to get in contact with me, the best way for you to get information from me is to go to my website. Go to reverendkyle.com, post your question in my forum. If there isn't a home for your question, make one. The forum, you're able to create new threads and whatnot. If you're going to ask a question, also be patient. I do have a real life. I have a wife and children and a job, and so I try to spend as much time as I can, but I can't always answer all of your questions. Now, if I don't answer your question in a day, the last thing that you're going to want to do is go and ask it on 8 different other locations. That gets to be overwhelming because suddenly I don't know if I've answered your question or not. I might have answered your question twice. I might end up answering your question 8 times over the course of several days. I don't want it to be that way. I want you to have a central, localized area to go and ask these questions, and that's why I've developed my website specifically for you to get my content and get contact with me. In terms of receiving content, that's one question I've been asked a lot too, is what's the best way to find your stuff? Well, the videos are all going to be on YouTube, so subscribing to my channel is a big deal. I'm Reverend KJR on YouTube, which obviously you're watching this, so on YouTube I would assume, so you can see it there. My website, obviously, I do post all of my content on Twitter. I do have a Facebook fan page. You can look for it in REVTV. I also posted on Google+. I hope that community continues to thrive. Google+ is an amazing site. That's about it, really. So, you know, I do post on the forums, XDA, RootsWiki, Fandroid has an Android forums page that I go to now. There's plenty of opportunity for you to find my content. In terms of other representation. I've been asked by a few people to be part of their, their webcast or their podcast or whatever, and I'm very willing to do that type of thing. So, if you're interested in having me be involved in something like that, fantastic. Anything I can do to help the Android community. I think that about wraps it up. Now, these are common questions that I get on a regular basis. I get these questions 100 times a day. But I'm sure you have questions, and I'm sure you have concerns or things that you want to know about me or about my videos, or if there's a way I can help you. And if that's the case, then please go to reverendkyle.com and go to my forums and post your questions and concerns there. If I find a large amount of common questions that pop up, I might do another video like this again. Other than that, I'm really satisfied so far with my fan base. You guys have made it amazing for me. I'm having a lot of fun helping all of you, and I like how appreciative you are, and your comments are very welcome. I really enjoy that. Thank you very much. So I'll leave you with that, and some of you are going, wow, that video really wasn't necessary, was it? Yes, it is. For some of you, you'll appreciate this video. Others will probably not watch it beyond the first 30 seconds. So this has been Reverend Kyle, sharing with you some common questions and the answers about the Android and my content.